everybody. On the range, ain't nobody here again. Kind of a dreary day, but it's warm. It's probably just above freezing. And it's not windy like they said. And it's not raining and snowing like they said. Freezing rain and snow. So here I am. See what we can do. Alrighty, we're all set up. I've got the 357 Herrett out. And I've already made some changes here from what you guys saw. I had the Tasco 3 power on here. Now I've got this is a Burris, but what is it? I think it's a 3. Yeah, it's a Burris 3 power. I had this one on the 357 Maxi, and I decided to put the 2X on there just because, you know, the grand scheme of things, this is capable of more range, or I'll use this at more range should the need arise than I will the Maxi. So I figured one more magnification. Really didn't make a whole hell of a lot of difference, but that's what I did. And the reason was that Tasco just has a little too much eye relief. I have to push it a little too far from what I'm comfortable with. And this is natural, normal. So that's what I'm going with. All right, so what we've got here for some loads, these are Remington 3030s, 322 powder, and 170 grain Sierra Full Metal Jacket silhouette bullets. Just fire foreman loads. So let's take a really good close look here at the case and the bullet. Well, the bullet you're not going to see again. We're sending it downrange, but the case, we've got kind of a sloping, gentle shoulder, and we still have the 30-30 taper. So what we should get when we fire this is a sharper shoulder, a more defined shoulder, and a little bit larger diameter through this area, but probably not enough that you're going to see, maybe side by side, but let's see what we come up with. All right, back it off to wide open, set the camera over here. I'll put you in speedy mode, and we'll shoot a couple times. I'll come back and we'll talk about the brass and look at the targets. All right, I don't know if you saw, but I had two misfires. Now, Contenders can be real temperamental with these hammer spurs. Sometimes they cause lots of trouble. I don't really like them. They're really not needed. You can get to the hammer. You don't really need this. And it causes more trouble than it's worth. Now, this is a new gun to me, used. So I don't know how the hammer spring is. I may need to change the hammer spring. So we're going to try this again, see what we get. Hopefully we can get to shoot it. Otherwise, you know, we're done with the Contenders today, which is unfortunate. But let's see what we get. Stand by. I really like this brace.
The what?
It works really nicely.
The new frame?
Show you how I'm using it here. It's really good. This is it's a light load. It's not a stiff load. It's below a starting load. Obviously everybody knows what a brace is, what it's for. But here's how I'm using it. I'm using the back of it as my rear rest. I'm putting my hand up here, my other hand in here. I got this canted because this adjustment obviously is not friendly with a pistol grip, so I just got it turned over there. And I just get in here, and you can see, no problem getting to the hammer. You know, it's not a combat gun. You don't need rapid, fast access. You know, it's plenty of room to get your thumb in there, no problem at all. Get it here on target, get it scrunched down, and it's dead solid. Here we go. You can see my bubble. Recoil is fine. If I were to shoot my whole box of 50 here, I could definitely feel it in my elbow, but it's not offensive, not bad at all. I've got a really nice group going out there. I started on the big target. I got two great big pieces of paper, and then I got just a 3-inch sticker in the middle so I can get it on target. And if you didn't notice in the intro, when I first went to speedy mode, I zeroed it. By zeroing, you just open it up, you look down the barrel, and you line up like a peep sight on the center of a target. And then you adjust your crosshairs without moving the gun. You adjust your crosshairs to be on the same target. So you put your head down, you look through the barrel, pick your head up, look through the scope, and you make them the same. And that won't sight it in for you, but it'll save you ammo. It'll get you on the paper. And my first shot was 3 inches right, 4 inches right, 4 inches low. So perfect, got me right on the paper. And the scope adjusted up nice, and it's shooting really good. So let's shoot one more here, and that'll be a dozen shots. The very first one never did go off, and I'll show you. It doesn't have a super deep dent, but it's got a dent in it, so I don't know what happened. It does have different primers. The first three were with rifle primers. The rest of these are with pistol primers. If you know, rifle primers are all the same diameter. They're all .210, but they are different heights. Rifle primers are taller than pistol primers. So when you put a pistol primer in a rifle primer pocket, they seat deeper. Contenders can be really temperamental to firing pin length. They don't have a lot of it, generally. So sometimes it causes trouble. It's been a long time since I loaded the Herrett. It probably wouldn't make a difference. Rifle primers can be a little bit harder, thicker cupped, because they're designed for higher pressures than pistol. But being that the small primer is farther in the case, it makes the firing pin have to go farther, so it's not going to indent as deeply. So it's kind of a toss-up. I think I am going to order the Bellum heavy-duty springs, which I think are nothing more than Wolf. I have to look. I may have a couple. I should have them anyway. I've had Contenders always, so it's a common thing with them. They do get fatigued, and you do have to change the firing pin spring. I mean the hammer springs somewhat. You know, it's something that has to be changed. If you have one that has misfires, change out to a heavy-duty Wolf extra power spring, and it'll cure your problems, depending on how much you shoot it, for a while. It's good to have on hand. They're not expensive, and they're not overly difficult to change. So I'll probably order some out just because if I can't find any that I have. So let's shoot this one last shot here, and we'll talk about the cases then, and then we'll go look at the target. Very, very stable. And here we go. I really like these Burris scopes there. Arguably my favorite pistol scope. Now it's cold out here, so I can't feel good, so I'm having trouble getting this to thread back on. And yeah, it's a little frustrating. I can't get it. I don't know why. Probably because I'm sitting down and it's cold and my fingers don't work well. There you go, right on. Just a little persnickety. All right, the gun opens, you squeeze the trigger and it pops open. Let's put our flag in here so that we're safe. And let's take a look at these cases. Okay, zoom in close. So, pistol primer on the left, rifle primer on the right. So the primer is backed back out, so it's flush. Everything else on the case looks good. Let's take a look at this shoulder and the diameter. I don't think you're going to see it, but let's see if you can. I hope our focus is really good. Looking at the shoulder, you can see the one on the left. I mean, you can tell there's a shoulder there, but it's not very defined. And the one on the right is more defined. Now, it's not super sharp, but there's not much of a shoulder there. But it's definitely more defined, and that's the shoulder on the 357 Herrett. And there is our fire-formed case, ready to be loaded as we like, full power, ready to go. I'm probably going to shoot up the rest of these just to make the brass. That's what these bullets are. They're kind of sacrificial. They were the thing for silhouette. They are very thick. Think of a 9mm bullet. Very, very thick jacket with a lead center. Seen from the bottom, filled from the rear. That's exactly what these are. And they were designed for silhouette because they have more time on the target. So a lead bullet, when it hits it soft, it hits, it smashes. Its time on the bullet, we're talking about milliseconds, but its time on the target with mass is minimal. This, being a thick copper jacket and 170 grains, so fairly heavy for caliber, spends probably twice the amount of time on target, on a steel target at impact, as opposed to a lead bullet. Maybe not quite, but it's substantial enough that it makes a difference, because the name of the game with silhouette is to knock the steel target over. So if you can do anything you can do to increase that chance, it's going to be a good thing, and that's what these bullets were designed for. And there we go. There's the jacket again. I mean the fired case again. It opened up just a little bit. There we go. All right. Back you back out. We'll get some more shooting done. I really like that brace. It really is nice for bench shooting like this. Now with the pistol scope on there, the eye relief is such, you can't shoulder that. If you try and shoulder it, you won't be able to see through the scope, because it's got, it's supposed to have 16 inches of eye relief. You're going to have what, 5, 4? Just, it won't work. So there's a lot of people that will say you shouldn't be using scopes with a brace, because then you're telling them you're using a rifle. You're telling them you're using it as a rifle, but you can't see through it. It's a pistol scope. It's not a rifle scope. So maybe if you put a rifle scope on it, you would be, telling them you're using it as a rifle, but it's not usable with a pistol scope on it as a rifle stock. You can't use it. You can't see through it. So that's the reasoning. So there we go. All right, stand by. And here's our target. So very first shot. And again, this is 50 yards. So that's probably 24 by 18, that piece of paper, 2 pieces of paper. So holding in the center. First shot, second shot, third shot, fourth shot, fifth shot. I didn't get it perfect, but I got it on here. So, because I'm going to sight in a couple more. And then I came over here and I shot the first shot. I brought it back down and then I shot these. And then I focused the scope a little bit and I could see the red. So I started holding right here with the crosshair and I put those 3 in. So this is just a Fireforeman load. So I'm pretty happy with that. You know, if I had a smaller target, like if I was shooting a spot like that, I would have a much tighter group because I can hold that really steady. And I'm very, very happy with that. So there we go. There's the first shots. 327 Herrett, first dozen, 13 shots. Really, really happy. It's a shooter. God bless everybody. GW.